Good morning. I'd like to speak about the future of work today and what I know is happening to frontline workers, our kids, whether they're our grandchildren or our children in their 50s. We've already experienced a culture change, a change that has jostled all of us. Economists are saying you can stimulate the economy, but you should go easy on the culture change because it's a shock. Well, everyone, what in the world do you think we've done? By overturning all of the NLRB laws that protected labor to begin with in the early part of the century under George Bush by Elaine Chao, we've made a sea change in culture that has caused a disruption in our children's lives for years to come. What is not working. I speak to young people in their 20s and 30s. They have no loyalty at all to the corporation. They feel abused. It doesn't seem to matter if they're making minimal wage or they're making 160, 500,000 bucks. No siree, they're abused and they feel that abuse. And in return, they have no loyalty to their employers. Not surprising. With all the monopolies that have taken place, with all the stagnation in wages that we've seen, now we're adding abuse. Non-stop blurring of the lines between the workspace and the family time. We say we revere families, but we don't give kids a chance to even think about forming a family when they're working 80, 90 hours a week. And when they give notice and say they're taking time off, nobody respects that notice. And then people actually in higher management have the temerity to actually scold their employees. Scold them because they did the work that they should have been doing anyway. No siree, culture change has occurred. I think to go back to better times, we really have to strengthen the NLRB and put it back so there is indeed a clean slate for workers, a way for workers to organize, a way for them to negotiate their salaries, a way to identify their hours and have people stick to them and respect them for their time and their energy spent when they are indeed working. It's not happening now, and we need it desperately. When Elaine Chao switched the situation in labor so it favored only the corporations, it created a draconian situation that has totally stagnated in terms of innovation and productivity. Two things will happen with the stimulus bill. One, women will be able to go back to work, so will men. There will be money for childcare. There'll be money for pre-K. There'll be money for retraining. And that's a good thing. What won't happen is we won't be able to overturn what's already happening on the front lines of the industry that we all depend on. Our local grocery stores, our CVS's, our pharmacies. No siree, those frontline workers that we all valued so much, they're being replaced They're being replaced by checkout counters that are automated. And Amazon, and of course it's got to be Amazon because they've replaced Walmart as the number one draconian corporation in America. Amazon has food stores where you literally go in, pick up your food. You don't want it, you put it down. There's nobody in the store at all except customers and product. And you walk out and you're charged for the merchandise that you've purchased. No people. In my local grocery store, it's bad enough because the former employees are now training customers how to use these machines. And the machines don't work very well because nothing is barcoded elegantly enough so it works on the first try. Not even the employees and the managers get it right the first time. So checkout now takes a hell of a lot longer. And very honestly, when I go to the supermarket, I like to see friendly faces there. I like to know the people behind the cashier. I like to know I can ask them a question and they'll respond. So how are we rewarding frontline workers? We're going to say, you train the customers and then you're out. And out where? Have we thought about what are they going to be retrained for? Where will millions of people go who work for Amazon or work in our grocery systems? What will happen to them? Are we going to have now more people on unemployment and have to consider a basic living wage for 100 million people? So we're giving them childcare now and pre-K and free community college. But if you have everyone out of work, what will they do? In the 70s, I know what happened when Ford Motor Company let 5,000 people go at Metuchen, because Metuchen was not producing at all in terms of quality cars or labor. Labor was out of control. I know, I was there. I watched as a man in a spray booth 20 feet up in the air tried to get me and upper management with his spray gun. That plant was closed in a nanosecond, and the hue and cry in the country was heard because everyone was upset that the plant had been closed and 5,000 people were dislocated with no jobs. Well, today, we let millions go and we don't say a word. This is not right. Politics affects us all, and fundamental change is what we need. We need it on the voting rights level. We need it on the minimum wage level. We need it on the NLRB level. We need it for a clean slate for workers. Corporations should be held accountable for making sure that their workers are not going to be displaced into welfare. I know in the late 70s, early 80s, when I worked for Pfizer, and I helped to spin off their diagnostics division to Werner Lambert, Pfizer wasn't draconian. For 6 months, I held office hours so that I could assure my 125-person workforce that A, they could remain in Brooklyn because there was a job for them there, or they could go to the Midwest with the product. That's being decent. And so many years ago, a business columnist who I admired, Gretchen Morgenson, said, If you are good to your employees, you will increase productivity and you will reduce prices 2%. Folks, we don't have to worry about inflation if we start doing what the corporations say they're going to do, that they're going to follow the ESGs. What does it stand for? Being good to the environment and your employees, making sure your employees have a say in what that workspace looks like, and a say on the board of your corporation. Making sure that your corporation is interacting with the community. That's the ESGs, and not only interacting with the community, but interacting with the community in a sustainable way, not causing pollution that's now causing low sperm count in men by 40%, and all sorts of comorbidities like heart disease and asthma. Gee, if corporations weren't draconian, and if we really did go to sustainable energy, we'd have thriving populations all over the world, happy to consume, happy to lower prices, happy to travel. It's a win-win to be good to your employees. I hope Uber and Lyft remember that, because I understand on a global level, all those employees are going to be unionized. The caveat, unfortunately, is they're not going to be called employees, but they should. Once again, I know shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't count, only what is. But the definition of an employee is you tell them what to do, you tell them how to work, and they don't really work and do the same job for anyone else. That's an employee, and they should be paid as such. And then we can start getting rid of the gig economy. Doesn't work for people. It just causes diseases of despair and kids who no longer want to get married. If they have kids, they don't care whether it's in wedlock or not. They're just going to play by their own rules and be happy. Well, we asked for it. That's the culture change we got. You want anything else? Be decent. Be decent to our employees because they're somebody's child. And, you'd like someone to treat your child equally as well. So that's my message for today. Work. Work is something that you should enjoy. And like Buffett always used to say, he skips to work. And me, I like what I'm doing, which is educating all of you, trying to tell you what's happening and raise awareness as I am witnessing what's happening in our 21st century, and as I know we can do better. So take care, everyone, and have a glorious week. See you next week. There's always something to talk about. And God bless you all. Bye now. Take care.